Good morning, Hayom Yom, Chof Gimmel Sivan. So in the year 1943, in the year that Hayom Yom was published, so Chof Gimmel Sivan was Shabbos Mevarchim Tammuz, the Shabbos which blesses and welcomes the upcoming month. So the Rebbe tells us that on every Shabbos Mevarchim, we should wake up early in the morning and say Tehillim, and we should have Farbrengens. Then the Rebbe tells us that in the mid-1870s, the 5th Chabad Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab, had a Yechidus with his father, the Rebbe Maharash. And one of the things that the Rebbe Maharash told him in the Yechidus is that every Jew, every person, has two souls, the good soul and the bad soul, the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Hara, the angel and the devil. And essentially what the Yetzer Hara is, what the evil soul is the part of us that is selfish, that's self-absorbed, that is only intent on making itself feel good. It's all it cares about. It doesn't care about or think about anybody or anyone else. It only cares about making itself feel good. It's selfish. While the Nefesh Habihamis is selfless. It's the adult in the room, it's the human being in the room, it's the mature one. It feels and lives with its responsibility towards everyone else, towards Hashem. It feels, what can I do to serve everyone else? What are my responsibilities to my surroundings? It is selfless. And the name for the Yetzer Hara, one of the names for it, is the Nefesh Habihamis, the animal soul, or the animalistic soul. And the Rebbe Rashab said, because it's called the animal soul, because it's called the Nefesh Habihamis, so many people often think, mistakenly, that the Nefesh Habihamis always acts like a pig. And therefore, if any time you have in your voice, any time you have in your head a voice which says to do something very disgusting, very barbaric, very crude, so it's very challenging to listen to the voice or not, but we always identify that voice, unless your mom is self-delusional, you know that that voice is the Nefesh Habihamis talking. It's your animal soul talking. Because it's a very barbaric, beastie voice. But he said what people don't realize is the Nefesh Habihamis doesn't always act like a pig. Very often it acts like a fox, which is the cleverest of all the animals. Very often our Nefesh Habihamis could be very cultured, very sophisticated, very suave, very charming. It comes with a very gentle, soft-spoken, sneaky approach, very clever approach. And sometimes it says it acts like a tzaddik. It's very cultured, it's very refined, it's very humble, it comes with a very good approach. And he said then it's very hard to identify that it's the Nefesh Habihamis. And you have to be very intelligent and very self-aware and very on your guard to even realize that voice is actually the Nefesh Habihamis, is actually very sinister, it's very sneaky. Is the Nefesh Habihamis, is the fox, is the clever fox of the Nefesh Habihamis. And he proceeded to say that every single person has a Nefesh Habihamis which is custom designed and custom built for you to be a challenge for you. And this is why we'll often look at other people who seem perfect. We look at them, they don't have any of the challenges that we have, any of the things that cripple us, and we think that person must have it great, that person must have it perfect in life, that person must have an easy life without any challenges. But it's just because we don't see the problems we have in them, and they don't, because the problems we have were designed to cripple us. But that person has their own Nefesh Habihamis, custom designed to cripple them and to be an anchor for them. And we're not so aware of the issues that they're struggling with. That's why they look perfect. But everyone has a Nefesh Habihamis custom designed to weigh them down, to cripple them, to be an anchor to them, to be a challenge to them, to make a struggle for them. And he said every single human being has what they are specifically meant to be working on in life, what they're meant to focus on in life, what their strengths are, what they're meant to work on in life, what they're meant to accomplish in life. And no two people's what they're meant to be working on is exactly the same. And your Nefesh Habihamis, while it tries to ruin your entire life, while it wants to cripple your entire life, while it wants you to fail in every area of life, in the end of the day, all it really cares about, what the main battle is, everything else is just a skirmish, but what the main war is about, what the main battle is that one area in life that you're meant to be working on. And in the end of the day, he's willing to give up everything. He's willing to give you all the territory, all the ground, as long as to fall back and protect the one area in life that he wants you to fail at. He doesn't want you to succeed at the one thing you're meant to succeed at. And every Nefesh Habihamis basically customizes his approach and is custom built to make you fail in that one area in life, or to make it very hard for you to succeed in the area of life for you. And for every person, since their area of life is different that they're meant to succeed in, therefore their Nefesh Habihamis and their fox, their internal fox, the way it comes at them and the way it tries to stop them from doing that is going to be different depending on what you're meant to be doing. And one example that the Rebbe Rashab gave his son, the Rebbe Rashab, is some people, they're meant to daven. Their life's mission, or the main thing they're meant to focus on, is to form a very strong, powerful relationship with Hashem in davening, through davening. And davening can be a little bit hard to really get into and enjoy and develop. If you do, it's amazing, but it could be hard. And to make sure, though, that the man doesn't, or the person doesn't daven the way they're meant to, the Nefesh Habihamis, he said, will give him an insane drive and passion and geschmack and joy in learning. He'll give him a push every time he's meant to go davening, every time he's thinking of davening, every time he's meant to be davening, he'll give him a push to go read something instead, to learn something instead, to listen to a class, to read a book, to learn some Torah. And he'll make it very easy. The Nefesh Habihamis can make learning Torah very difficult for you as well. But he'll specifically make it easy for you. He'll get out of your way. He won't obstruct you. He'll make you understand things easily. He'll give you focus and motivation, and you'll understand it, and it will be amazing. It will be powerful. It will be great. It will be stimulating in order to stop you and distract you from what you're meant to be doing from davening. And you would never think that it's your Nefesh Habihamis pushing you to go learn a mimer, to go study a Torah, to go listen to a shir, because that's a good thing. That's something that tzaddik would do. But that is your sneaky Nefesh Habihamis, he said, coming and stopping you from doing what you're meant to be doing from davening. And this could really be with anything. It could be you're meant to be giving money or helping other people with your time or with your body, and instead he'll say, work on yourself. Or you're meant to be working on yourself, and instead he'll say, don't work on yourself, go help others, or whatever. It could be anything in the world. What you're meant to be focusing on, the Nefesh Habihamis will always come and try to push you and send you off in a different direction. He'll set a decoy for you, which might seem good, but he's sending you off in a different direction. And the Rebbe Rashab said, the way to tell, the principle to bear in mind, and the way to always tell, the sure method to find out if the voice in your head, which is telling you to do something good, if it's coming from your Nefesh Habihamis or if it's coming from your Nefesh Habihamis, is it coming from the human within your head, or is it coming from the clever fox within your head? So he said, this is the method, this is the litmus test to always know whether or not it's Nefesh Habihamis. He said, anytime you're thinking of doing something, or you have an opportunity to do something, or you want to do something, which will further, or which will help you progress in actual avodah, it will make you a better person, it will make you a better yid, it will help you grow as a human being. Anytime you're about to do something, or you want to do something, or you have an opportunity to do something, and then a voice comes into your head and says, don't do that, let's do this. There's this exciting thing we need to do, there's this project we need to cover, there's this person we need to talk to, there's this thing we need to read. Anytime that happens, he says, that is guaranteed, I'm telling you, that is the Nefesh Habihamis. Because the only reason he's popping up with all these wonderful ideas is because he's afraid that you're not going to do what you're meant to be doing. And just take procrastination for an example. You're lying in your bed doing nothing, living life, and suddenly you have in your mind to do something productive. And right when you decide you're going to do something productive, 10 voices come into your head, oh, I should probably do this and work on that project and do this and speak to that and right? And the obvious question you would ask yourself is, if these things were really so important, then how come 5 minutes ago you weren't telling me to do it? The fact that the moment you decide to do something productive, the moment you decide to do what you're meant to be doing, all these voices come up, that means they're really just decoys, they're really just trying to distract you and weigh you down from and distract you from what you're really meant to be doing. And that is the sign, he said, anytime you're about to do the right thing and suddenly all these voices come in, they could be the best voices, they could be telling you to do the greatest, most noble, most amazing things in the world. That is Nefesh Habihamis, that is your clever fox talking, it is an evil voice, it's your sneaky Nefesh Habihamis, don't listen. And the Rebbe Rashab said about himself that when he walked out of that conversation, when he walked out of the Yichidus, he started viewing himself and his own life and his own voices in his head in a whole new way. And he said, I became a lot more self-aware. And he says, till that point, I never dreamed, I never imagined that the Nefesh Habihamis was able to push me to be from. And for sure, I never imagined that the Nefesh Habihamis was able to push me to be Hasidish. That the Nefesh Habihamis, the voice telling me to do something Hasidish, to be Hasidish, was actually the Nefesh Habihamis talking. That was eye-opening for me, says the Rebbe Rashab. And that is the Hayom Yom. And then just very related, this exact point, the Alter Rebbe once said that you think that Esau, Yaakov's twin brother, so they were twins, Yaakov and Esau, and the twins basically represent the twins inside of our heart, the good twin and the bad twin, the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara, Esau being the Yetzer Hara. So he said, you think that Esau walked around with a gartel, with a belt made of thick rope, with an axe tucked into his belt? Do you think he was walking around like a barbarian with long hair or whatever, and he looked like a monster? He said, Esau walked around with a zaydin as jopasa. He walked around with a silk kapata. In other words, he looked like a chassid. He looked like a pious man. He looked like a chassidish chassid. But really, he was Esau. He was rotten. He was evil. He was a sneaky fox. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.